Hello and welcome back to Roll the Bones. My name is Rob, and as ever, I'm joined by my faithful, and talented, wonderful players, Mike, Matt, and Dom, and I shall ask them the immortal question: what happened previously on Knights of the Apocalypse?
Well, it was, it all began in the throne room. Obsidian was in the body of Apophis. And fully... Apophis. And fully surrounded by a coterie of witches. It's probably not the right word.
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
It works, yeah.
And then they had a little... It's not a monologue, because there was three of them. A trialogue.
Yeah, trialogue. They had a trialogue.
Sounds wrong, doesn't it? Trialogue. That sounds like a plant.
I like it very much.
And then basically...
one big fight.
Yeah.
The whole session was one incredibly long, big, epic fight with lots of different occurrences. Started just against the witches, and then members of the Watch came in. The witches summoned, obviously, they did the thing where they summoned creatures of the night.
Bats and wolves, and yep.
And then the Watch came in and made everything 10 times worse, as is their wont to do. And then the Dragon Guard came in, and they
rescued our asses.
also took on all the vampire spawn that were awakening, that were in the guise of Dragon Guards. So I imagine they'd been sort of turned
Castle Guard
by these
Castle
Guard,
Castle
by
Guard,
these witches, these vampire witches.
Yes.
However, one of them got away with a Fugue Prism, didn't they?
Only after two of them got obliterated pretty much in one go. I can't help but notice you leave out there, Runic. No, it was excellent. That one move, that one psionic powerhouse of a move, blazing the Sanguine Sisters into pieces, and leaving one hungry for revenge and torn between whether or not she should go for you and exact revenge, or get the objective. But she stole herself against revenge and went for the Fugue Prism, which was snatched from Obsidian.
Yes. I mean, he did hold it up, but that's because he was trying to threaten to destroy it, and it didn't really work. It's not so much that they called his bluff, because he was very willing to destroy it. It's just that they didn't. I don't know.
Didn't allow him to.
Well, it was
I
quite cool
they
because
weren't going to stop. They weren't going to be like, no, don't destroy it. They were just going to come at me until they got it. It just didn't work at all.
Well, it struck you that this has obviously been the plan from the beginning. Was the whole thing with the city at the moment has been about the Fugue Prism. That is their primary objective. That's why they're here, and they wanted it back. So yes, they weren't going to give up easily, and they even threatened your wife, who came in ensorcelled as she was. They threatened her life as well, which didn't go down very well.
It didn't. That was part of why he was more than willing to destroy the Fugue Prism. I was also at the same time willing to hand it over if they let her go. He would have just given it to him. But they didn't. So yeah.
Yeah, it was a
but
mighty...
then we basically offed them, apart from the one that got away, who we will deal with at some point. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't really know. I don't know how far she will have gone, or where the Fugue Prism is now, or how imperative it is to the city. I don't think we're going to be able to bring a lot of the people back that were stuck in it back to life, at least, because their bodies will have been,
long deceased,
burned or buried or whatever. So it's just a case of sort of freeing the souls within it, which we can do at any time so long as it doesn't get destroyed. It's more foiling whatever the plan is for it, which we still don't really know. And then Ansel took out Night Brother Anus. I call him that because he put hands on my woman.
I call him that because he's an asshole.
It was Ansel,
Yes.
but it was simultaneously an effort on your part as well, Obsidian, as his downfall was that he thought he could just walk through the pain, and that's why he took on board the attack of opportunity from both your undead ogre, the undead wyvern tearing into him, and then Ansel getting in with the eldritch claws, and only after he had walked away did he realise actually he had been slain by 1 point.
He was dead. He just didn't know it yet.
He just didn't know it yet, exactly.
Yeah. And then he
Dan,
was
I believe
immediately
he was raised, wasn't he? Or spoken
Raised.
to, rather not.
raised as a zombie. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was
questioned him
asked
first.
about the children, which he didn't seem to know about, which has led me to believe that they actually might have escaped, which is kind of cool. Now I need to find them. And then, as a sort of to make a point,
Yes.
in an almost purposefully disrespectful move to the Watch, because of what they stand for, he resurrected Night Brother Anus as a zombie.
Yep.
And stated to the room that this particular zombie, like, you do what you like with any of his others, following the law and whatever, but this particular zombie was to be left as it was in its uniform, to be presented to the rest of the Watch when they go and take them out.
Yeah, it was quite a cool declaration, really. Obsidian stood before the assembled guard, the assembled forces of the Dragon Guard, and pretty much declared, you can have any of them, but that one remains. And it was a very cool line that we left the session on, actually. Quite the battle, and I think a really impressive display from all of you, because as I was mentioning to Mike the other day, I was sure that I was going to have you fully on the ropes, and to be honest, from a GM's point of view, I don't feel like I did. I feel like you absolutely smashed it, and that's a good thing, it's good to be surprised.
I don't think any of us, Runic was in the shit a few times, damage-wise, I think, because of where he was positioned.
Yeah.
But I don't think me or Ansel took a massive amount of damage.
But that's,
Danger.
that's absolutely the name of the game. And it is that game that we return to this evening. Now, that battle actually...
You grabbed the bit 2 seconds.
That's alright, mate. That battle actually knocked the strangers over an XP milestone. And so, as we have been doing these past days, we shall be rolling HP on the stream. Let us begin with Ansel. Let's have a hit die and your constitution. Remember, reroll 1s and 2s, because maybe I should get rid of that rule so I have a chance of killing you. No,
Well, that's a reroll.
it is.
That's much better.
Very good. So that's maximum on Ansel. Let's keep it going. Obsidian.
I've actually lost myself. I'm a D6, right? Okay, cool. I always have to check because I can never remember.
Oh,
I'll take that. Thank you very much.
Maximum once again. And Michael, would you like to roll runics?
Now, are we saying
I'm
ones
saying
and
you're gonna
twos
do
is
this.
a 3, 3s and 4s are a 4.
Oh, because you're on a default. Yeah, of course, yeah. As with Bracken in the campaign before, yes.
That's okay. That's a 3, so that's actually 8, which is exactly the same as everyone else.
There we go. That's pretty great. I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, fantastic. So let's Matt, have you got your fan on by any chance?
Yes, I apologise.
Something's I don't know, something's rattling in the background. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure.
Better?
No. Yes.
No?
Yes, it is. It is. Yes, it is. Right, perfect. In that case, now that we've done the HP, let us return to our story.
That's pretty.
Silaster, would you like to roll your hit die as well?
I will. Okay. Give me a sec. It is... Yep. Right. That's the first one. And that's a second. That's pretty decent.
Fantastic. 9 and 11 in total. Wow, goodness.
Oh, so close.
Silaster, you have been moving for time uncounted. For time is something that doesn't behave in the same way here. Nothing behaves in the same way here. In the lost realm of Arvanaith, you have been running through a dark forest capped with snow. Icicles hanging from every branch, like fingers reaching out to you as you continue on your ceaseless journey. You've been told that you have 2 days. At least you think you were told. Maybe it's something you know inherently. You know that you need to find some way out before it is too late. You've seen them in the darkness. You have felt them brush past you. The endless spirits of your kin who have died thousands and thousands of years ago. You see their eyes blinking in the shadow, and you hear their song. In the realm where Twilight's glow resides, where elven souls find eternal tides, a journey begins through vales of the dead, in the elven realm where dreams ever spell dread. Their whispers continue as you push further and further through the forest. With whispered echoes of forgotten lore, footsteps echo on the ghostly floor, through ancient forests of spectral light, guided by stars and celestial sight. Every now and then, Runic, you look to the stars, taking the hint from those that have tried and failed before you to use those stars, those things that bless the elves from birth, to find a way out of this place. I'd like you to give me a survival check if you have it.
I have some of it. Oh, actually. Okay. $22.
Yeah, you navigate by stars that are framed between 3 moons, but 3 moons that seem to be reversed, as if you're looking at from the other side. of a reflection. Beneath the moon's ethereal gleam, through sylvan mists a mystic stream, the river of souls the elven guide, where memories ebb and shadows hide. Your navigation aims you true. You feel like this test of endurance is as much in the mind and the soul as it is in your physical form. More so. Almost breathless, you see, thanks to that navigation, that the forest, after so long, appears to be clearing. Clearing is the optimum word, for you enter one. At least you think it is at first. Before you see that the trees, lit with these spectral lights of spirits that have been reaching out to you, some trying to help and give you words of advice, some of them trying to draw you in with words of trickery. You come to a embankment of a vast river that is completely frozen and flanked by great statues. Looking up, you see the veiled, massive forms of stone elves looking into the distance, and you see it before you, a gleaming, beckoning light. This must be it. This must be the way. And then, Silaster, you see him. Maybe him isn't accurate. You see it. Before you, materializing from a gulf of shadow, silhouetted in front of the beaming corridor, you see a creature. It appears to have elven form, but seems to bear a mask-like face, a mask that you sort of recognize. It is a mask of the stranger that had come to you in your time in life, that had given you a contract, had told you to destroy a wizard and make his disappearance completely total. This individual stands and appears to have flowing strands of rotted robes, like mummy's wrappings almost, like flowing from it in a non-existent breeze. Two massive stone wings flank its on either side of its back. And it will say, "Come forth, kin. Come forth, child of snow. Stand before the wile."
Silaster will push through the shadow and appear in front of the masked figure.
You have travelled long, and you have travelled far, and yet the greatest step of your journey to the other side must now be taken. Our kin, our blessed, some say cursed, with the longest of lives. There are those among our kin that have seen the stars when they were new, and watched as their echoes burned to dust. I was one of the first, and now I stand a guardian of the elven dead. And I stand as a test. A test for you. Let me look into your eyes. and I shall know the test that you must face. Could you give me a will save, Silaster?
Yes. He's not in any stance, so it will just be a critical success.
Silent whispers caress the night as spirits dance in pale moonlight, wisps of memories in spectral hue, each step revealing a tale anew. You feel like this invasive force is trying to take something from you, rob you of a portion of your power, but you stay resolute. What is the thought that Silaster holds on to? A thought of life that gives him strength against the while.
I would imagine as his mind has been honing in towards, well, he always has been on the snow, on the peaks of the mountains, but that crystal obelisk has always been his focus. But beyond that, he's probably thinking on warmth. He may be a snow elf, but I imagine where he is at the moment, it's not just cold, it's an absence, I would imagine. And deep down, he would quite like to feel that warmth of life, that breath, just passing through his lungs again.
And it's almost like you can feel it. It's like you can feel like your lungs beginning to fill. It almost seems like the trees, like desiccated skeletons on the periphery of your vision, appear to have leaves of 100 different colours. It is like you are standing upon the brink of Arvanaith, the elven realm of the dead, and Arvandor, a place of life, a place from where your kin were born. And this thing stands in your way. You resist, says the Wile, and it's almost like you see its stone face crack into a smile. I see what sent you here, and it shall be that power that keeps you here. You see that those wings appear to change shape almost, from an angelic wings to almost gargoyle-like form. I shall take upon the form of that which destroyed you, a paragon of its kind. Kin, defend yourself. And the while this elven spirit appears to flick between its form and that of a paragon gargoyle. Roll initiative.
Alright. $17.
17. You go first. What do you do?
What? Okay. Let's dust off. This is as good for Silaster as it is for me. Let's get the cobwebs gone. So, seeing this thing in front of him, Silaster will drop into, again, that focus of the obelisk. Keeping that centerfold, he falls into the Pearl of Black Doubt, keeping his defenses about him. But with that in place, he will wait.
You would wait. A voice echoes from the black forest behind you. You would delay. Your death, then, is inevitable. Through veiled archways of marble and vine, enchanted gardens where spirits entwine, where blossoms of sorrow forever bloom, fragile beauty in the realm of doom. It will take a free... It doesn't even need to take a free 5-foot step, actually. It just will go into a full round of attacks in that case, Silaster. What is your armor class?
That is runic. 22.
22. Okay, are 2 claws. 1 claw hits you.
Okay.
Then a vicious bite comes down upon you. The elven face morphing into a gargoyle-like form.
Did the second claw miss?
It did, yes.
My armor class goes up.
Ah. The bite misses.
It's 26.
And then 2 vicious-looking horns then go to,
Sorcery.
just gore you as well. It's a miss.
It's 28.
That's pornographic, Michael.
Yeah. What is happening? What's happening?
What? The while seems to be flicking in and out of these 2 images. Frustration wrought into its statuesque face as it misses completely. Oh, sorry, one claw got you. I do apologise. So 1 claw.
Yep.
That does 12 points of slashing damage. Rakes across you, but what is it like as this power takes form and with every miss provides you greater defense?
This is channeled back from when Silaster was against the living cloud. I can't, excuse me, the miasma of death.
Caller in the darkness.
Caller in the darkness, thank you very much. And since then, he's never had a chance to fully show this, but his focus on just constant instinct, letting his body just automatically fall into the momentum of battle and letting that dictate his defenses, that is what keeps him going.
Amazing. The elven deities, guardians of fate, their presence lingers, it never abates. With wisdom and grace, they oversee the cycle of life in eternity. It is your turn, Silaster.
Silaster takes a step forward, and he is going to deliver just a big overhand smash into this being's chest.
Its wings go wide. Make your attacks.
This mountain hammer comes in for 20 to hit.
20 is a miss, unfortunately.
That's alright.
You move against him, but this thing flits between the vision of an elven wraith and that of a gargoyle, and you miss.
Silaster just, in his mind, is thinking, patience. Channel what Kidos told you. Haste and hubris brought you here in the first place.
But beware the shadows that silently creep, for restless spirits may disturb your sleep. Stay true to your purpose, heart alight, as you navigate this realm of twilight. It draws its wings wide, it seems to lift into the air, and then it goes for a full round of attacks again. Armor class, I dare to ask?
Start is 22.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Oh, I thought it was permanent.
Yeah, forever.
Now 28 forever.
Yeah,
It's now 30
it never
forever.
changes. Unfortunately, the first one is a hit.
My armor class is now 150.
The second one is also a hit. So the 2 claws. 2 claws. The bite comes down. Misses.
It's 24 then.
And the gore comes in. Also hits. On your 24, unfortunately. It seems to get your number this time. You get ready with your position, and yet 2 claws come raking down at you first of all for 19 points of slashing damage. And the gore... 7 points of piercing damage. This thing drives you back, and you slide backwards. Your momentum pushing you back across the ice. But you've been on ice all your life. You don't slip, you don't fall, you're just ready for what's to come. The thing spreads its wings wide and gives a feral roar, an echoing roar from the depths of ancient, dead cathedrals. It is your turn. What do you do?
Salaster will go, pulling Shadow from around him, will assault the creature's eyes, aiming to obscure him. So 24 to hit.
24 is a hit.
Yes. That is... of course, I'm in a different... I remember. Yes, excellent. Perfect. Right. Dusting off these maneuvers. I remember this. There we go. It is... 27 points of damage.
Oh my god, what is it like as you just start smashing great lumps of stone out of this wraith?
Oh, well, he also needs to now make a DC 17 Fortitude save, which I'm sure he can.
I'm
But you never know.
pretty sure he won't need to, actually.
This is regarding, like, mischance and that sort of concealment.
Oh, okay. What was the save, sorry?
17.
Sorry, mate. Passes easily.
That's alright.
Really good roll.
That's fine. Salaster attempts to attack through the eyes. It's a bit more animalistic than Salaster probably has done in it before, attempting almost to drag the shadow across its vision. But still, damage nonetheless.
It moves out of the way and it says, "You think shadows are your ally?" As like a wave of shadows appear behind it in its wings, you see the faces of the many elven dead that attempted to escape Arvanaith to reclaim the immortality of the elves, only to be trapped within these hallowed halls for eternity. A journey through the land of the deceased, where whispers of love and loss are released. It's going to retaliate as it did before. No, it's not. It's going to try and grab you. It does not provoke an attack of opportunity whilst it tries to grab hold of you. So it will just see if it can get your touch armor class, which is...
It is 20.
A great stone gauntleted hand just shoots forward and just BAM! Lands around your neck, trying to get a hold of you. Opposed grapple, please. Make it good.
$18.
Unfortunately, it is successful, so its attack is successful. It will spend its movement in with one single beat of its great wings. You lift 60 feet into the air, and as you do, it says, "Behold, look beneath." And you look down, Silastra, and you see beneath the ice thousands upon thousands of elven faces screaming silently up towards you. You will join them ever so soon, child of snow. You shall fall. That is its turn. In the elven realm of the dead we roam, seeking solace, seeking a way back home. Through memories, dreams, and whispers profound, we journey forever, lost, never found. What is your turn looking like, Silastra, as you are held high in the air?
I am going to ready an action.
Okay.
He said for my fall.
Yeah.
So I'm readying for a fall.
And that's exactly what. Is that just it? Your turn? Or are you going to do anything else, or just readying?
No, Silastra almost kind of like gets both hands around the creature's hand in his gauntlet, but just waits.
And it'll see that you seemingly make no attempt, and it will say, it won't say anything. It just goes to hurl you. There's a pause, and then it just uses all of its might to fling you back towards the ice in an attempt to smash you into the elven river of souls.
As I'm falling, I want to initiate my Shadow Jaunt maneuver.
Yeah, you absolutely do. As your ready action snaps into being.
And I want to bring myself. It would 60 feet in the air. It brings me just shy of kind of like 5 feet off the ground.
Yeah, easy.
But I want to be facing towards the light. If I have to mitigate any rolling, I'm rolling in that direction.
No, you won't need to roll because that just teleports you straight there. So you can place yourself wherever you would land.
A bit back there, so that's fine.
Yep, so that was your readied action from your previous turn. He spends his turn with his attack throwing you. He will, while seeing that happens, will use its fly speed to pursue you. So lands basically where it is, turning to face you. It is now your turn. In this ethereal dance of life and decay, the Elven realm reveals its ancient sway, a glimpse into realms beyond mortal grasp, a journey through eternity's gentle clasp. What do you do?
In front of me, do I see the exit?
You see what appears to be an infinite corridor of light. And words whisper in your mind, "Your test is not yet passed, child of snow."
Silastra looks like he could. He could, but he's not. So he will turn around. And with a 5-foot step, he will... He's going to go for an insightful strike as he attempts to maintain balance, composure. So let's see. Regular attack. Oh, for God's sake.
Your attack goes wide, it bats your strike aside.
Yep, it's a normal attack. There we go.
Yeah, so it bats your attack aside and then will retaliate with a full round of attacks. 2 claws. Remind me your starting AC?
22.
1 hits, 1 misses, so...
So it's 4.
Okay, the bite comes in. It's a hit. And the gore is a miss on a 24. So
26,
one bite and a claw. So 10 points for the claw of slashing damage, and the bite comes down for 8 points of damage. So it's just swiping and biting and doing its best to drag you into the battle again. In its way, it seems like this thing doesn't ever seem like it's going to stop, Silastra. This is like fighting a force of nature, a force of death. In Arvanaith's embrace, strangers find solace. amidst the ethereal. For in this realm, where elven spirits reside, strangers are welcomed, their fears set aside. What do you do?
Silaster looks at himself and takes a moment to remind himself and say, no, hubris got you here. You can be mortal again. I will use a new one, Shadow Stride, which just means I can now teleport as a move action.
Ooh.
So I will Shadow Stride to here. So I just appear in front of him, and then... Now here's the thing. I didn't actually ask. How many of my belongings came with me? Do I have them all with me?
It's as if you were exactly the way you were from when you left the living realm.
Yes. Silaster will quaff, as a free action, a potion of Bull's Strength.
Very good.
And then to take that to a standard action, a potion of Mage Armor.
You draw upon the power of the arcane. Well, I am from a force far older. Anything else on your turn, Silaster?
That's it.
Okay. It watches you go, and it will just turn about. And as it does, its wings go wide once again, and it draws them in a wide arc in front of itself, and a dozen stone-like feathers just shoot forward like blades. Make a reflex saving throw.
Oh, it is. Yep. 28.
Have you got evasion? I think you have, don't you?
I do, yes.
What is it like as you dodge 12 stone daggers that just hurl towards you all in one go as you take none of the damage?
This is... Instinct is kicking in to a certain extent, but Silaster is... If there's one thing he's learnt, his arrogance cost him his downfall here. He has to be unprepared, and if he is to succeed in everything he wanted to do before, he needs to be prepared and ready to accept when he needs assistance, and that's even with himself or with others. Taking time for the potions, taking time to think, and that moment of respite gives him a chance to catch his footing and enable him to hop, flip, duck, and use the momentum of all of them to just skim past and through them.
Arvanaith's secrets, they slowly unfold, guided by whispers, its stories untold. Within its borders, strangers become kin, bound by the spirit that dwells deep within. It is your turn.
Silaster will run in for a charge attack.
Yeah, you throw caution, or at least seemingly caution to the wind. You charge forth.
33.
Oh my god, yes.
So that is... 14 points of damage.
Yeah, it goes to swing for you reflexively as you charge it, but you just completely bypass its defences, and with your heightened strength, you just smash into this thing right inside its guard. Unable to defend against the attack. It'll give a... It's just going to do a full round of attacks, because why wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What is your art? It's 20...
4, because I had braces of armour, so 24.
Yeah, so those both miss. 2 attacks, whoom, whoom, miss.
28.
A miss for the bite, and
30.
a miss for the gore. So it goes wild at you, this flurry of attacks, but now you've got its number. You're able to dodge out of the way of every single strike that time as we move back to the top of the round.
Silaster,
Yeah.
take a 5-foot step back, just for a better view at this thing's face. And as he's doing this, he's pulling shadow from his hands into a long garrote-like line as he throws the thing around its neck. This, fortunately, is a ranged touch.
Yes.
So, oh, it's possibly a fumble. Oh, that's the worst time for a fumble.
That is the worst time for a fumble, mate. Oh no.
31.
So not a fumble, but just a miss, sadly. Yeah. And as you go for that, it's also going to go for a ranged thing. I'm going to ask for another reflex save as it does that same thing again. Another blast of stone-like knives hurtle towards you. Reflex save, please.
18.
Not good enough this time. You take the full lot, sadly. As daggers of stone slam into your chest, you are hurled against the ice. As you take 24 points of piercing damage. And we move back to the top of the round as you hear this elven choir continuing to sing. In the elven realm of Arvanaith's embrace, strangers find refuge, a sacred space. Through unknown at first, their hearts entwine in unity forged, transcending through time. Your turn. What do you do?
So... This... of course. Not hard to worry about this as runic. Silaster tumbles back. And the DC for one opponent, I easily exceed it on my... I don't need to roll.
Yeah, you don't need to roll. That's fine. Yep.
Silaster uses almost the shadows to give him momentum as he almost seems to blink backwards out of its range. Where he does, he takes... Well, it's in his supplies, so 2 atomized serious wounds potions.
That's fine.
So 2d8 plus... If I do 4d8 plus 30, because that's what 2 of them would be then. So 41.
My word. Yeah, you find that the gifts of life preserving you in the realm of the dead, you are restored. Great. Anything else?
Move, standard action, free action. Yeah, all good.
A single beat of its wings sends the wile hurtling towards you, up into the air and down, a great claw just hurtling down towards you. Boom! Like great cracks run through the ice as this thing lands in front of you, its wings wide, its attack bearing down upon you. That is going to be a hit. For 12 points of slashing damage, the claw just rakes down at you. It looks down upon you, these just empty, void-like eyes boring into your soul, Silaster.
Sorry, one moment, because this I just need to quickly... does take a bit of a moment.
So let thee wander, explore Arvanaith's mysteries forevermore. For in this realm of the elven dead, strangers find a home where souls are fed.
As a swift action, Silaster is going to take a potion of Magic Fang.
Yep. That'll provoke an attack of opportunity, I believe.
Yes, that will. So 24.
That is a miss. It swings wide and you're able to duck beneath its swipe and swig.
So that is a swift action, but as a full round action, Silaster will just take just a second to recompose himself because he had a few things prepared that were not appropriate. So he's bringing back his maneuvers, focusing on the light, using that to draw him and his focus still.
Very good. It will... It's going to... It's going to reach out a hand and it will say, what do you want to return for, kin of mine? Is it to breathe the free air, to embrace a lost love? Or is it simply that you are afraid? There is nothing to fear from oblivion. Give me a will save, please.
Good thing I prepared this. I will use my concentration check in place. Whoa, that was a mistake.
You pass with a 394 on the will save.
Oh my god.
He has got some new abilities.
30 years, amazing, and it's almost like nothing is there anymore. All the shadows, all of the spectres of the elven dead surrounding you are gone. Only you and it standing there, and there is that crystal that is strong in your mind, the obelisk, your focus. What is something that you see in the obelisk that helps you defend yourself from an immediate destruction at the hands of the Wile?
There's faces of those he's left behind, but also those of whom he's met. If you'd be hard pushed 20, 30 years ago to call them anything more than a colleague, but maybe he'd call them a friend. But there's more there than just his drive and his missions and that respect, that initial hunger.
And as you resist the finger of death itself, what do you do?
Silaster has been defending. Not anymore. He swaps to his assassin stance. As a swift action, he will drop into the Cloak of Deception. And he will move just to a different position here. And from where he is, he will attempt another obscuring shadow veil. .31 to hit.
31 hits.
Now, is he subject to sneak attack?
Yes.
Excellent. So that is... Right. Oh, lots of ones and twos there, but 35 points of damage.
He swings as you duck into your shadow-like stance, and you just smash into him. You watch as like great portions of the gargoyle-like form that is outlined by the wraith is just being smashed away. The paragon of the gargoyle form that it is seeming to become greatly diminished. And wordlessly, it will just retaliate.
Can he see invisibility?
Yes.
That's fine.
That is a... What is your AC? Is that thing still active?
It's not, so it's just 24.
First was a hit. Second was a miss. So 1 claw. Bite. It's a miss. Gore is a hit. So a claw. 7 points of slashing. The gore. 12 points of piercing. As the two forms, the Elven Wraith and the Snow Elf are locked in bitter combat on the bridge between life and death. That is its turn. What do you do?
Silastra will switch to his Child of Shadow stance and move to here, and from there he will attempt another insightful strike. 27 to hit.
27 is a hit.
Excellent. So that is 26 points of damage.
It goes for you once again with the gore, and it catches you, but that spins you into enough momentum that allows you to retaliate with such force that you smash the Paragon Gargoyle from existence. What is it like as you destroy that form in totality?
I mean, the insightful strike is like precision. It's the most like Zen thing he has. So he's just channeling that shadow into him, and all he does is he just places his palm on the thing's kind of being, and then unleashes that shadow, and that's what shatters and courses through him.
You can give me the... I'm sorry I didn't ask you for the damage, but it didn't need to roll, but I just realised you probably want to roll the damage, so let's see how much by.
That is the damage.
Oh, sorry.
It's a concentration check. That is the damage.
Oh, of course it is. I was like, hang on a second, did I not ask you for the damage? Yes. Well, trust me, it would have been enough anyway. That's why I said it. So yeah, you just watch as this form, this paragon of the gargoyles, puppeteered by this elven wraith, is just shattered, and then crumbles into the cracks in the ice. You can hear the crunching of ice, and you feel like the ground is just going to vanish beneath you, and then it seems like everything stops. The snow in the air is frozen, and the while the elven wraith looks upon you. You have shown that you have not only the skill, but the will to return where many have failed. You will bear this mark for as long as you continue in the realm of the living. You feel like searing almost, and you look and you see like under your battle garments, you can see that you have these now two vast, permanent scars that are just bored into your chest. The killing strike that sent you here. But you will forever be a bane against those that try and return you here. And in a choir behind him, you just hear faintly now the song of many, many hundreds and thousands of elves that have come here before you sing one final verse. In Arvanaith's depths, where darkness holds sway, strangers brave the gloom, where shadows portray a dance of spirits lost, seeking their tomb, bound in the enigma of the realm of doom. And it's at that point that the light begins to grow stronger and stronger, and the Weil gestures. We shall see you again.
Celeste nods and walks into the light.
And suddenly, where everything was dark, now there is nothing but light. I just realised I didn't delete the writing off that page. Victory! We return, and
We won.
with the symbol of light blazing, we are now greeted to the vision of a sunrise climbing above the Grenial Mountains. No, climbing above the Silver Sea. And across the land of Arvanaith, shedding its light upon Valdinor. A brand new day has dawned. Obsidian, you have had rest enough to recover your abilities, rest enough to be recovered, but not rest enough. Could there ever be enough rest to still the worries of a parent? You and Naya and Ansel were bidden to take quarters within the castle. As the Dragon Guard had secured the area from the battle of the day before, you had really had no choice from the vigours of the conflict to retire. During the night, a petrified and worried Naya would have expressed her thoughts to you, the worries and concerns about your children, the fact that she did not know that they weren't with you. She did not know that whether they'd been taken or whether they had not been. I simply turned to them and told them to run, but I was almost certain that they would have been taken as well. But it sounds from what your friends had said that they had managed to get to the Necro Wagon. She probably doesn't call it the Necro Wagon. I just realised.
That's very much a him thing.
Yes. The wagon.
They are. They're brighter than I think even either of us know.
Yes.
Now, of course, it comes to figuring out where they would go in a pinch.
They've barely been 5 leagues from outside of the city walls. And she's basically
don't
like
know if they
pacing, wringing her hands, unsure what to do.
I don't know that they would flee the city, or whether they would try and find somewhere to hide within the city. They know it better. It has been a couple of days, but I think maybe we need a tracker.
Perhaps there were watchers on the wall that saw if they left the city or not.
It's certainly possible. We could ask. We can certainly do that.
In the room next door, Ansel, you awake, fully rested as well. You were also given quarters, and you were rather warily guided to the quarters by some page or some castle servant or other that was very wary of you, and you rested too. Is there anything that you would have been doing during the night whilst resting?
No, I don't think. It's a long time from the point of the 2 points of the month where Ansel has any extra abilities, so he wouldn't have been able to look into the shard of the mirror for assistance, and he wouldn't have had much else to choose from. I think he would just try and rest in the hope that guidance would come with the sun.
Yeah, it is in your frustration you mark that it is only the 19th day of reaping. Many days now stand between you and the next crescent moon. Sickle moon, sorry. Soon, word is sent to both of your quarters, Obsidian and Ansel, that a council is to be held with those with any remaining authority will be attending within the city, and it has been stated that members of Graves and Co. And their affiliated allies are to join them. Runic, you would also have been resting. You are still with us at this point.
Yes.
This invitation would have gone to you. I realise. I apologise. I should ask. Has Runic been doing anything while he's been resting as well? Playing two characters in one session.
Runic would have honestly just taken. He would have had a couple of drinks with his sneaky, ever-filling mug. But seeing that he's taking quite a bit of constitution damage, and that he's just literally knackered. But the night before and all that, he tortured.
Yep.
He's barely.
Bless his heart. Feels genuinely bad for that guy.
He would take his 2 lesser restoration potions to restore his constitution damage, and then. Yeah, would you like me to roll those just to see if he gets all of it back?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we don't know how and when, if Runic's going to be in whatever situation.
And with the night's rest, that means he's only a -2, not -6. So.
Fantastic. You also note that as you have rested enough to return your power points, you are actually have 13 in extra power points on top of your maximum. You imagine this was something to do with the crystal that you took hold of. That
Sort of Swiss Stone's money.
Yeah, there was a lot. Swiss Stone, as you would probably have been drinking with Swiss Stone the night before, Swiss Stone swapped from bemoaning the ever approaching visitors that are going to be at the castle for the funeral. He seems to be very uncomfortable about that. He also swapped from that topic to moaning about how much what he had used, how valuable it was. Quite a lot. But he had actually referred you to the fact that this council would be taking place. And that is where, after you are well fed with a hearty cooked breakfast from the great kitchens of the Castle Valdinor. You find yourselves, all of you, in a familiar place. You find yourselves within the council tower. Or rather, shall I say, familiar to Ansel, because Silaster was there and then died, and Obsidian was busy with his business with the king. So actually, actually only familiar to you now, Ansel. So we'll load up here. There we go.
What a curious place. I'm seeing it now for the very first time.
Yeah, isn't it weird?
Absolutely didn't kill a random guard.
On your way here, you do note a few cabinets had been like smashed, but have clearly been cleared away, in like the room that you passed through to get here. But yeah, you aren't waiting long before you are joined at this council. Not only is your wife invited as well, due to the fact that the matters that are going to be discussed concern her equally as they do you, Obsidian. But also there stands Arcane Zarya and Knight Captain Danico, and last of all you are joined by Swiftstone, who, with a slight hangover you notice, Runic, reintroduces you. The heroes of the hour themselves. This is Obsidian, practicer of... And he wants to say like the dark powers, but like just says practicer of magic.
Yeah, just magic.
This is Ansel, and this is my associate Runic from the northern realm of Nurendel. And Danico will say it is glad tidings. It is good to see that you are well, and it is you that we owe a considerable amount to. There had been a growing effort to ensure that we could strike at the heart of the corruption, but as this corruption was indeed being led by one we were sworn to take orders from, it had to come at the right time. And so your arrival and the involvement of the leaders of the Watch meant that this matter could be dealt with in one decisive strike. We have Swiftstone.
And how is poor Apophis?
Swiftstone will wipe his eyes, still a little bit hungover still, and say, well, he didn't look particularly good. He was going to be carted to the dungeons, but actually he has been taken to the Medica, the healers. Though there is very little they've been able to do for him to stabilise him. He is in a very weakened state. He will never be the same. Unless without great magic. He took quite a fall, it seems. And you remember Apophis being cast by one of the Sanguine Sisters, falling 60 feet onto the hard stone steps of the throne, broken upon the thing that he claimed to protect.
Yeah, he took a battering.
So, we have much to be grateful for, and much to be thankful for, that this matter was dealt with decisively. And indeed, by only one of you that is native to our city. The Prince and soon-to-be King Vrandon will be fully informed of your bravery and of your service to the city, and you will be compensated in a manner only a newly crowned king can, with honours. And I assure you, some other trinkets of whatever you would name. I'm sure you are the ones that acted when all of us were bound by the oaths we so carefully keep were those very things that kept us unable to act decisively.
In the future, I may ask only for the reconstruction of my home and business. But before I can even take these things into consideration, I must find my children.
Aye, well, the moment it was made clear in the battle that was the case, and that your kids weren't around, well, Obsidian, we've conducted interviews with all that have had watch duty on every gate in the city, and I'm glad to say that your wagon was seen riding fast but unpursued to the east. Look, I'll show you on the map. And he brings up a map. Shows you on your map even. On the table. It is a map table.
Yes, on our very own map.
Yeah, so to the east, there is a road that leads, that follows the source of the river into the lower foothills of the Grenial Mountains to the east. It would have been there that they rode. And it'll be a blessing for you to know that it is not easy. Not an easy road to ride. A wagon. They would not have got far. Even though they have some days on you.
Well, we should make haste and follow.
Yes. I agree.
Well, we will not stop here, but of course, this is a matter of utmost importance. There are many things that we have to do to prepare, but I assure you that we will make sure that you are thanked with with not only compensation, but with the honours that are due to you, if they will mean anything to you at this stage. You will, of course, accept any supplies that we can offer you. Anything you'll need for the journey.
No idea. Just
They've taken the necro wagon, so
couple of horses.
couple of
maybe.
horses.
You shall have 2 horses from our stables.
Just to borrow. I have my own, hopefully, still.
Well, they will serve
You'll
you.
be forgiven if Mr. Nobby doesn't make it.
Very well. Horses will be provided, and what of supplies and alchemical components? Do you need any potions that will serve you in the wilderness? I would offer the presence of the Dragon Guard, but we are now sworn to remain here, particularly when our ranks have been so diminished by the undead menace.
I'm sure that my associates would not turn down some sort of healing assist.
Very good. Well, we shall look into what supplies we have. Arcane Zarya will go to her. She'll go to her stores, which actually was one of the places that you had tried to that you were thinking about breaking into whilst you were last up here. But I can't remember if it was some store or something or other that prevented you from doing it. Like you were trying to evade guards or something. There are a few rooms you didn't go into up here anyway, and that's definitely one of them. She returns with a number of potions. Can you roll a d6 for me, please? Someone. This is just to see how many she would have.
Go on, Ansel.
4.
So you get 4 cure critical wounds potions.
Critical wound.
Ooh.
That's our first
Wow.
set of those, I think.
It's a bit saucy.
And can you also roll me a d8?
Go on, Runic.
I mean, I've done a lot of rolling, but 2.
And 2 cure moderate wounds, so more good ones, so that's something, right? So 2 cure moderate wounds as well. Now, Runic, I know you understand that you've made fast friends with these fellas, but there are matters that I wish to discuss with you. So, you have a choice. You can return to the north to continue your service, or you can go with them.
I mean, a couple
If
of
it helps
days-
at all, I think fast friends is really an overstatement.
Brutal.
I don't really say that. That's really harsh.
What's his name again?
Yeah. I mean, he's been mildly helpful. I don't know.
Just mildly, yeah. Just mildly.
Mildly.
dragon slaying, vampire smiting. I know it's
Yeah, I know. I know. He's kind of one of those people that's a bit like you just sort of wish he'd piss off, actually.
Runic is. I mean, over the couple of days I've been with you guys, you have brought me more torment than I've possibly had in the last couple of years of my life. So
that is fair.
thank you for that.
We are quite good at that.
And
As soon as I met you, it's been shit.
I must express, Mike, I am concerned about your children, but I have pressing matters, so I can do what I can to give you any support here, but I fear I must leave ASAP as well. But if there is anything I can do prior to your departure, my departure, to assist you, let me know.
I can only offer my apologies for the suffering that has been imparted to you by those seeking to hurt us. It seems like you had it pretty rough.
I take no grudge for any of this. However, on a personal note, I will be in touch with you at some point when things have calmed down. He throws a glance at Ansel, acknowledging the kind of that look of, you remember that.
That thing
So-
you saw, yeah.
So
I
Runic,
suspect we do owe you a debt. It will be hard to repay.
as and when, but when your matters have settled, perhaps we can get in contact. Send me a message, and I can reach out to you, no matter the distance, really.
No matter the distance.
Well, no matter a great distance.
We'll look forward to it.
There are other matters that we would have your wise counsel on. For it seems that you have demonstrated abilities and talents that we knew not of. I had a feeling that there was something about the lot of you when I saw you marching, bold as brass, across the arrowhead, savage doom with their tails tucked between their legs. But this, Danica will nod, is indeed something else. I will give you news of what has occurred with the Watch and what will occur now that the Prince is but days from the city walls, riding as he is with the Wormerdon. all of this can wait until you have returned with your children safe in tow.
There is more to discuss when we return. The threat to this city is perhaps less immediate, but has not gone. And we will continue to fight it.
Is there anything else?
You never know, they may try their luck elsewhere.
Is there anything else that you would ask of us? Anything that you would say before you travel east?
Is there anything else that we can think of?
I mean, like Danico said, if there is, but it's not important, it can wait. You can always... There will be further discussions on your return, so that's up to you.
I mean, as far as Obsidian is concerned, that's the most pressing. The most pressing thing is getting his children back.
Very good. Well, we will see to it that you are gifted our swiftest horses at the stables, and it seems time will be given for you to say your farewells to your comrade here. And it is then that you are bidden to the castle courtyard, and the horses are brought. Is there anything further runic you would like to say before you two leave? Is there anything you would say as parting words, or would you say nothing at all?
It's been shit.
It's been fucking shit.
It's been fucking
Ever
awful.
since you entered our life.
Honestly, I wish I'd never clapped eyes on you.
I have been tortured. I have seen grievous undead. I have
One thing
seen.
after another.
Yes.
I think that Runic will just reinforce what he was just like. I am serious. We will get in contact again soon, I think. Talk to Swiftstone. I know he has these little means of sending messages. I'll have a chat to him as well to see if there's maybe a way that you can drop a message to me if you need it. And when things are quiet, we are due a chat about that vision. But I do wish you all the best and all the luck that I can give you.
The fear may take more than just luck, but it's still very welcome.
Our best wishes go with you.
And I'm sure we'll see you again one way or another.
And thank you from the bottom of my heart for your help.
I look forward to seeing your establishment as it's meant to be. Again.
And so it is that Oh, sorry, Ansel.
Sorry, I think there's a massive delay on my end.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I tell you what, that is where we see the parting of ways. Runic moves away to have some further conversation and debriefs with Swiftstone and Obsidian and Ansel. You take the reins of two stallions, and as it is you're about to leave, your wife stands there, the wind billowing her skirt about her like Eowyn in the Two Towers standing there, gives you a final kiss and says, "Bring our children home." And as you ride from the East Gate towards the Grenier Mountains, that is where we will take our break. So those watching live and after the fact, thanks ever so much for sticking with us. What will the strangers have to accomplish? How far will they have to ride to find the missing Graves children? We shall hopefully discover that when we come back from the break. If you like this video, give it a like. Will I see more like it? Subscribe. And if you like watching us live, give us a follow on Twitch as well. We will be right back. Don't go away.
BRB.
RB.
And we have returned. Before you began on your hasty journey, a number of the scouts of the fighting force of Valdinor had given you a bit of a head start in the direction to go, and directed you to a narrow pass, as mentioned before, that leads east into the Grenier Mountains. So it won't provide too much of an issue to track. However, after a while, it will be dependent on your skill after a certain time. An Obsidian Ansel, you find yourselves riding with as much haste as you can. I'm afraid, hate to be finicky, hate to be too particular, but I'd like a ride check from both of you, please, to see how you manage these powerful horses of the Dragon Guard. Yes, you are awesome horses, so horses you have. We'll do a ride check.
Haha! I actually rolled.
Oh dear.
Well. Yes.
Oh, hey, you did. Yeah, there's no way around this. Nah, that's not too bad.
Absolutely fine. It is a sustained just ride. Obsidian, it is passion and worry that drives you ever forward. Ansel, you're finding it almost pretty much a challenge to keep up with Obsidian as he head down, like you're in like full gallop, and while you don't lose pace with him, something is driving Obsidian into the heart of the Grenier Mountains. The cold winds of ever-approaching winter whip around you as stated earlier, in the middle of the month of reaping. Soon you will be in the depths of winter, so it's getting quite cold. And you find yourself riding for a day, and I'd like you to make a survival check as well, please, or a search check, depending on which is better for you.
So weirdly,
Survival.
why on earth is that? Have I read a book or something?
You might have actually. In fact, you did read a book. I think there was one in the vampire's domain in the city that permanently increased survival for you. So is that both 11 from 11 from both of you?
Both. Yeah.
You're following the trail that was already pointed out to you, and you're basically following these two large grooves in the shale of the mountains. Like your path is basically just like filled with like tiny stones, just like crumbling down from the mountains. So it is quite hard to like not leave a trail through this. But you're starting to like find other passageways that lead up into the mountains in different ways. Different passages and paths, and animal tracks now as well, and it is becoming quite difficult, particularly with the fading light, to continue your passage. So you make good time, but you don't come to the end of the trail today. Night begins to fall. There is a coldness that sweeps around you. The three moons hang in the sky, grinning down upon the two of you. Is there anything
we're better setting up camp than trying to go through the night, because then we could lose and go accidentally off course. So
it would be very dangerous to go riding through the mountains in the depths of night. though not impossible. You pitch down, you make camp. Is there anything you wish to discuss that evening?
Do you have a plan of finding the children other than just following a trail? Obsidian.
No, not really.
I thought as much.
Pretty much just hoping to
check
track
if you
them
had
down.
anything
I don't
like
have
this.
much more beyond that, but there'll be some sort of fatherly bond, I'm sure, that'll draw me to them. I mean, we have Trick who can get a bit of an aerial view for us.
Yes.
So that'll be helpful. Yeah.
Yes.
Beyond that, it's just sort of trying to think like they do and find a decent place to hunker down and hide, which is, I imagine, what they were trying to do.
Do you... In fact, you don't need to give me a spot check, actually. Something quite apparent to you is known suddenly. Though I need you probably to roll a d4. 1 and a 2, it's Obsidian. 3 and a 4, it's Ansel. Ansel, you're in mid-conversation with Obsidian, and you can't help but look at Obsidian's side, where the bag of holding rests on his hip. And you are startled to see that Silaster's head, that has often been poking from that bag, his eyes are now wide open. Silaster...
The Silactus.
The Silactus.
Just our little Silaster pot plant.
You see that his eyes are wide and like looking around wildly. Silaster, you have just woken. In the darkness, your eyes that have been closed for so long are like blurry and I just see two dark shapes next to you, but familiar voices. And so you see that Silaster's eyes are open.
I'm also probably starting to choke, considering that my body is just dangling into the...
I think Ansel will go and Ansel goes and stands behind and above the bag of holding, and so upside down to Silaster. He's going to be like, "Are you back with us finally?"
God, right.
Loosen the bag to give him breathing space. The dungeon.
So I attempt to figure out what's going on.
After such an epic return. That's very funny.
Yeah, from the just bright light to the dim glow of a fire, choking on a bag that's tied around my neck. Yeah. Oh, yes, I'm back. That was a... Did you keep me in the bag?
Perhaps.
It's just that you're quite cumbersome to carry around.
Right. Well,
It was convenient. We didn't want to lose you.
I'm very interested in Silaster. Obsidian's kind of like intrigued.
Yeah.
And we'll just sort of slyly cast Detect Undead. Yes, I can see this is...
No sign of the undeath is upon him, but I mean, it is probably worth like taking a moment to consider that the person that you considered to be truly and utterly dead, impaled and fell down in an abyss dead, is now talking to you. Quite a
Well, I
thing
think
to probably experience.
Yeah, we sort of gathered that his body was now alive, but he was unconscious. Like, he was sort of in a coma or something. And we figured that it was something to do with the Fugue Prism. But obviously, although we have a sort of knowledge of that, Obsidian in particular, because of its sort of necromantic nature, is now really curious as to how this works. Like, if we're returning a soul from the Fugue Prism, is it the same? Is he still Silaster? Is he still good? Is he corrupted in some way? Like, there's so many things that could be the case here. So, like, he was really just watching like a hawk.
What, like Silaster?
Where you been?
It was a constant journey. I have no idea how far I've travelled, how much time passed. But it was almost like a constant sprint. And then I fought my way here.
Well, we can tell you it's been how many days? 2 days since you've been breathing again, and I don't know how many days it is since
It was like another
died
2
in
days.
total.
It was like another 2 days before that, I think, because he died in the same dungeon that we left, and then went back the next day. So there was one, and that's when we found the Fugue Prism, and that's when he was brought back. So I think it's like 2 days, then plus the twist. It's been about 4 days since he died.
Hang on, I'm just working this out. I have it written
4 or
down.
5.
So Silaster died on the 16th day. In the end of the 16th day, 17, 18, and now this is the 19th. So,
Bloody hell.
Then it's been only 3 days.
Yeah, dead for a day.
a lot was happening in those couple of days.
Yeah. Did it seem like more? It seemed like more for us.
Silaster quietly makes a note, remembering the days and the times. He still remembers his mission. It was outstanding. He knows he's got about 4 days left.
Yeah, so you know that today is the 19th day. On the 21st day, the funeral guests will arrive, and on the 23rd day, that is when the funeral will take place. So here's hoping your excursion is brief.
Yes. Well, that's Silaster making a note. It feels like all the time in the world and none at all. Time didn't move there, but that's a story for another time. Why are we out here? What? Okay.
We're hunting children.
I fell.
Yeah.
The last time I remember there was the caller in the dark.
Oh shit! Yeah.
That's our
Caller in the
now.
dark. Well, for
A little while longer.
like 8 more days.
Not 8 more days.
4 more days. 6
Yeah,
more
because
days.
it was the next day. It was the day after you died. We took the caller over.
No, you had it the day I died.
The day Silaster died was the day also that the caller in the darkness was commanded. The 16th day. It was now the
because it was
19th
just
day.
after, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That's
So
right.
now 5 days remain.
What level was I when I took it?
I think you were level 9?
9.
I think.
I think.
10.
Because I'm level 11 now.
Oh, we gone up 2
It
It
levels.
was
I think
8.
it was
I
2
think it
levels
was. I
ago.
think it was 8 days. I think I could be wrong. At least I marked it down. But anyway, look, I've definitely written it in the calendar when it occurred. So But anyway, again, another worry for another time. Silesta, when they mentioned to you about, perhaps Obsidian mentioned about the Fugue Prism, you can give me a will save, because you initially weren't in the realm of Elven Dead, you were somewhere else.
$19.
Yeah, it's almost like you see past the fog and you're looking into another life. Well, it was another life, your first life, to be precise. Yeah, you seem to remember standing in a crowd of many, many, many different people, and you struggle to recall their faces, but you hear a commanding voice, that you recognise echoing in your mind, the voice of the Bloodfather, Derek Redhaven himself. You are one and united. You shall serve me. You shall serve me in the most glorious purpose. And you feel like those memories are beginning to unravel, but right now, just coming back into it, you'll have to probably rest a little while and to sort of decode more of what you experienced in that time. It's like trying to remember a dream. It has to happen naturally.
Sorry, flashes. It's a weird experience. It's all fresh and distant at the same time. Tell me, what's happened? And you said hunting children.
Like my own children.
Wow.
Something weird.
We got the Fugue Prism. We retrieved that. And then...
Just the two of you.
we had some very minor, just I guess you could say Swiftstone helped.
Yeah, Swiftstone. He sort of, background help. But it's pretty much just us. We took out like 2 vampires, and then one of them got away with the Fugue Prism because they just were in a really good position, really good leverage and whatever.
Yeah. We killed a vampire each, in a way.
And a Night Brother of the Watch. Turns out they're really bad guys.
I remember bumping into those before we ventured.
Yeah, like they
beneath the
seemed
temple. They're not
sketchy back then, but now we realise that they're like proper religious fanatics. Like, the worst kind. And they're all going to die. All of them.
Okay.
All of them. Just going to die.
An Obsidian's house.
Yeah, they burned down my house.
I see.
And they took my wife. Yeah, we thought they took the children. Turns out they're wily, so they got away.
Werner will be alright.
I hope so, and I kind of feel like if he is, that's a little bit on you.
And if he isn't, that's on me as well.
No, if he isn't, that's because he takes after me. So, But it's got dark and we've lost their tracks. Basically, that's where we're at. We appear to be in the court's favour at the moment.
I see.
Like, they understand that we have fought for the good of Valdinor and its people.
And Apophis.
Not very well.
Not very well. He's got bad legs, poorly legs. He's broken. He's very broken. One of the vampire witches. I can't remember which one it was. Which one was left at the end? Sister
Saya.
I think it was Saya. dropped him from a great height after we managed to break him free of the possession, or at least we think we did, and he was almost killed. He is currently undergoing medical care.
Well, he lives. It's something. For the world has moved vastly, and yet it's been but a blink, and I find myself in the bag of holding.
Again, you're not light.
I mean, not light for us. You are an elf.
Yeah, also, I mean, I'm not strong at all. What? Do you understand where you've been and why you're back, or? We only have a very, very vague understanding of the mechanics of how you came back to being. Neither of us have any kind of resurrection magic, or...
A deal was struck before I fell, and it turned out that Arvanaith was a necessary part of that arrangement. But there are still a few matters I must deal with in the next few days to conclude that pact.
Okay. Are you okay?
Yes. How are you?
Salas has got a slight 1,000-yard stare at the moment. I'll be alright. Just taking it in.
We're glad to have you back.
Yes.
It's good to see the both of you as well.
Though I'm not 100% sure how this has happened, or whether it's all okay, I feel like maybe I choose to believe that this is good. Because it was so not good seeing you die.
It is. It is a good thing.
And is it a temporary reprieve, or is it...
Only if I get careless.
And that counts for all of us.
As before, then?
Temporary. Everything's temporary.
Yes. Just embracing this for the moment. I'll be fine. Back to normal in the morning.
So you'll be less talkative.
Yes.
It is good to have you back, Celeste.
However, we only have 2 horses, so you're going to have to go back in the back.
Got back in, yeah.
We got very used to our plant.
Nonsense, Obsidian. You're much smaller than Ansel, I'll share with you.
I jest, of course. Of course.
It is then that I ask, do you have a watch this evening?
A watch, not the watch.
Not the watch. Hopefully not. Anyway.
Hopefully.
Yeah, probably we would do the normal. Oh, and it wouldn't be normal though, because normally we would have the necro wagon. I don't remember how we set up the watch, to be honest.
Well,
It's been such a long time.
Silaster only needs to rest, like meditate for 4 hours. So, if I remember correctly, he meditated for 4 hours, and then
then we would
afterwards,
slept.
you then both slept for 8 hours at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. And as it was sort of only getting dark, we can hit that.
Curiously, would Silaster be how he was when he left, or back to
You are
normal?
fully returned at full strength, as is akin to when you level up.
Got it.
So you, you do feel at your prime right now, Silaster. But as you move to meditate for those first hours, you do feel like weirdly serene, weirdly centered, almost meditative. You obviously meditate anyway, but you just feel a calmness. And it's as you're closing your eyes, it's almost like you can see beneath your battle garb a gleaming light. And if you were to just take a look, like, under a button of your shirt, you would see that those two scars, those two pierce marks that went directly through your heart, are gleaming white with some strange power. And with that thought, you go into your meditation state, and I will roll to see if anything troubles you within the deep glens of the Grenial Mountains. Nothing troubles you in the night, and after a peaceful yet slightly chilly watch, you're able to make your preparations in the morning and continue. Could you please each make me a survival check, please, or a search check?
Crap. I can't find the tracks. Where have the tracks gone?
A thick layer of frost.
17.
Mysterious.
However, frost is not something that concerns the snow elf. As Silaster, you find the tracks after a few moments of searching, and thankfully, reunited with your elven kin, Obsidian and Ansel, he can lead the way through this rapidly approaching wintry landscape. It is wintry, but it doesn't prevent the floor or the ground beneath foot to become quite sludgy. As you're making your way through this gully-like path, all of the water and all of the rain from autumn and winter is pouring into the lowlands in between these mountains that you're moving through. Like thick, muddy, like waterfalls are pouring either side of you. The ground beneath is sludgy, like roots of old dead trees cling about you as you pass through quite difficult terrain. The weather is really turning on you, but not enough, it would seem, to have prevented the wagon, whose path that you are able to follow. But you can see, Silaster, with that 17, that passage would have been fraught with difficulty and would have stopped and started. Black Whisperer and Mr. Nobby would have had their work cut out for them moving through, and particularly without Obsidian or Brigade of Whist, practice riders at the saddle or on the wagon with the reins. Yeah, troublesome. Really thick bog-like areas begin to spring up around you, but you manage to follow the one remaining course left to you, which thankfully the trail follows as well. And then you see that there is a gully that is like completely like swampy and marshy. And you see the Necro Wagon. Mr. Nobby and Black Whisper appear to be eating contentedly. They are still hitched to the Necro Wagon as this map loads.
Is it? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, sorry, you might have to scroll down. Yeah, and you see the Necro Wagon is there at the end of a very muddy trail.
I got nothing.
Silaster's not there.
Silaster is not there. Oh no.
We put him
Still in the
back in the
bag.
bag, but he's like slipped in and.
Oh no.
It smells like Palace Garden here.
He was as I was wondering
And
that,
the
but
rest.
if I remember, he was emptied into the Necro Cave, correct? That Palace
Oh,
Guard?
the Palace Guard was taken out and resurrected. That's my one zombie.
Oh, yes, of course he was. There you go.
But actually, I'm going to add a second zombie and put a little star next to him because I know that that is the very special zombie that must be saved at all costs.
Now, the Necro Wagon, it doesn't take a search check
For
to reveal.
sacrilege purposes.
Yeah, for disrespect purposes. Sorry, Rob.
That's all right. Didn't mean to cut over you. Yeah, without a search check, it's obvious that the Necro Wagon doesn't have any of your children in it.
None of them.
None of them. None of them. But they are eating contentedly, it seems. Undisturbed, undamaged in any way. You note that they sort of give like a of acknowledgement as you sort of approach. Their tails flapping. They're not like. Obviously, they're not overjoyed being here. Like there's sort of like a light rain that's pouring onto them, but they're well fed, it seems.
Lots of foliage about.
Big time.
Is the wagon in good condition? Does it look like it's been under any sort of attack or anything like that?
Wheels are pretty wrecked. Clearly been driven over some difficult terrain in a hurry. But overall, find that the paint job will need to be done again. It's coated with mud. The insides looks a bit of a wreck. You see that there's like an old blanket that you recognise from your daughters there in there. But other than that, it's completely empty. You do note that there is, rather obviously, a passageway in this sort of miry kind of gully you find yourself in that is lined with a large amount of fungi. And not only are we talking about a lot of it, we're also talking about large species of fungi. In fact, there is many toadstools that far bigger than you guys. Large category that seem to be like hanging off the sides of this gully like great umbrellas almost. The light rain.
Any of that. Just I feel like that. Look, they're all multicolored, and just let's just definitely don't eat it. I don't think they would go well on a breakfast.
Good advice.
Can you give me another survival check? It's going to be quite high DC.
26.
Same.
7.
Nat 20, baby.
Yeah, you can see that there have been occasions where this has been disturbed. You can see that in the mud that there are footsteps that lead in this and they all vary in size. They're actually quite a large set of footsteps, and then smaller footsteps as well.
A large set of footsteps, and then smaller.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Okay.
Can I look at it with detect magic, just in case that...
Yeah, you can definitely look at it with detect magic. You look at it with detect magic. I do apologise. Yeah, you just activate it with your vision. You don't see any magical trace upon. Indeed, the door that you see that is wrought into sort of like a makeshift wooden mining entrance, really. Nor do you see any magic coming from the fungi. It appears to be a fully natural phenomenon, whatever it is.
Well, that's something at least. Would you like to take a look inside?
Let's do it. I try the door.
You try the door, it opens. You can feel free to click it if you want.
Ooh.
The door opens and a uncharacteristically warm breeze gusts through. It's sort of like a close, humid kind of feeling wisps out at you into the cold air outside. You see before you just this ancient... it's hard to call it a structure, but the cave has clearly been built in some kind of ancient place of... Well, you can give me a religion check.
$26.
26, that's fantastic. Yeah, you can see that this is some kind of a place of worship. You see that there are really, rudimentary, wild carvings, stone carvings, but not made by any dwarf or elf or man, but of, you imagine some kind of bestial race, almost totem-like. These great hunched, strange creatures depict gods of an unknown origin. Well, you would know because you did a religion check, but I just need to bring up that name. So bear with me 1 second.
Hockey dokie.
See if I can bring that up. But yeah, that's what you see. You can also give me a spot check as well as you enter.
Well, I can see them. At least I think I can.
Yeah, in that case, yeah.
So because my spot check's friggin' awful, but yeah, go on.
So you know that the god,
It's a 20.
first of all...
I do see...
You know that the god, first of all, you think is Yinagu, which is actually a beast god from a mad deity of, strangely, hunger, worshipped by gnolls. Now, and yeah, absolutely. I know I asked for a spot check, just in case you hadn't seen them on the map, but yes, indeed. Looking, you see that there is a chasm in the floor, and on the edge, you see your son on his belly, looking down. You see, 30 feet below, there is another ledge, on which lies the unconscious form of your daughter, who appears to be lying on a great toadstool that hangs very precariously over the edge. What do you do?
Run in to the edge here.
Wait, says Werner, his voice cracking as he looks up to see you. Wait, careful. You don't want to lose your footing. We didn't think we would see you here. Like his voice is cracking with emotion.
Silaster will turn to Obsidian so I can get down there very quickly.
Asna.
And Silaster will shadow jaunt onto the toadstool and grab the youngling.
Yep, you sweep down there and do that. As you're doing that, you land next to your daughter, which, for the shame of me, for some reason, her name has completely left. Aelin. Her name is Aelin.
Aelin and
Verna. I remember Verna, but for some reason, Aelin just left my brain for a second there. Aelin is lying there, Silaster. She looks very serene, as if she is fast asleep. Verna's just saying, please, I can't. And like his eyes appear to like be drooping, as if under some effect himself.
Where did I put him? There he is. I should trick over there and drag the boy away from the edge. And I'll send Trick over.
Yes. Did I put Trick on here? Oh, yes, there he is. Yeah, Trick can go over.
So Trick will he'll have to use all of his strength because he's only small category, but the boy isn't particularly big. And Trick isn't weak. He's certainly not. He's a devil. So, but yeah, he's gonna grab hold of Verna and just pull him a couple of feet, just sort of away from the edge.
Yeah, he lies there motionless. But Trick is able to pull him away from the edge, certainly.
And then, probably by that point,
sort of chemical in the room from these plant things may be putting them to sleep. So just be very careful not to knock up spores or whatever, Silaster.
So Silaster's done that. Obsidian did that. Ansel, what are you doing?
I will take a look around again with Detect Magic. Obviously, it's only 60 feet, so I can't necessarily see all that much, but I can potentially see something if it's there.
You don't see anything magical. No, you don't.
I'll relay that to Obsidian. Nothing magical.
Okay. I just start making my way around. Well, Silaster's doing his thing.
Yes, Silaster will shadow stride up with Aelin up to there.
Yeah, you
Would it be
appear
better
there.
if we all went together? Ansel will just teleport. Using Flee the Scene.
I did take her with me, but I just I know she's there.
Okay. As you go over there, then yeah, you both, all of you, sorry, not both of you, all of you are able to assemble there. Then Verna is still lying on the stone. It seems completely out of it. Can you each give me a heal check if you have it?
8.
Do you have to have training in it?
Oh, good question.
It can be done untrained.
No.
For this, I'll say no, fair enough. No, you don't.
It's very low roll anyway.
You haven't got anything in it.
Silaster, you are looking down at the boy, Verna, the one that you have trained. Weirdly, you are looking at him, and you seem to think that he's actually conscious, though he lies upon the floor, unmoving.
And what of the daughter who I dragged over?
She is in your arms, and she opens her eyes, Silaster, and you're the first thing that she sees. And it's the look in a child's eyes that is relief for a moment. Seeing someone familiar. But her eyes grow wide in terror as she looks at you. She says, and this is the only words she can get out as she opens her mouth, and you note that a vast portion of her teeth are missing. Watch out! Obsidian, your son
My God.
transforms before your waking eyes, his hand
I'm
opening
going to kill not just him, but you, Rob.
as a surprise round takes place. Grin erupts from the form of your child that was pretending to be asleep, explodes and says, "You have returned. Time for me to complete my collection." And he lashes out with the chain against you, Obsidian. What is your flat-footed armor class?
14. Where is he?
To be fair, actually,
Maybe.
he would... Yeah, no, he could,
I'm
get, he
over
could
here.
get you.
I'm actually not right next to him.
You
at
aren't,
the very
but I
beginning.
already
I've
said.
changed.
What is your flat-footed armor class?
Oh, he's still going for me.
Yes.
14.
I said it, so screw it.
Silas is in between us. He's hitting me around Silas.
That is possibly a critical.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
it could be like poetry, it could rhyme, it could be the same.
That is a critical.
there is a 25% chance that it is not a critical. So I'll roll a d4, and if it's a 4, it's not a critical? How's that?
Yeah, if it's a 4, it's not a critical.
Bastard.
The
He's insane. He's like he's hitting me around another character.
Well, imagine if he's done that, and you would be the first in that arc. He wants to get you. Like, he wants you.
Thank Obsidian, I'm holding your daughter.
Yeah.
Every time.
Go
on then. Go on.
So,
With a crit.
well, I have. That is a confirmed critical. So let me bring up the table first before you roll, please. I'd like it in front of me before I roll, or before. I mean,
If it's in the 90s, we know what it is.
we roll as before, and for those of
You said it with such a look of excitement, Mike.
we know what it is.
There
If it's
was a
in the
little
90s.
gleam in your eye. You were like, if it's in the 90s.
It would just be because that's exactly what happened to Silas.
For those of you new to Roll the Bones, we use a critical hit table, which is a far more lethal effects table that can range from just extra damage to instant death. We roll it publicly, and I usually make the boys roll it. So, Obsidian, if you wouldn't mind, a D100.
Oh,
79. That's still
that
not
is
bloody
high.
good, though. That's very high.
Oh my goodness me. First of all, please roll a D4.
This time it's a 4, because that would have been helpful last time, but no.
And then roll 2d4, please.
Both ones.
That is great.
Probably, I mean, that's good, right? That's
great
good.
for who, Robert?
Wait, what was the roll of the crit? Sorry, it was 79, wasn't it? Yes.
79.
Okay. So, the chain swings out wide, and he swings it round as hard as he can. Oh, I should do the damage for it as well. Therewith. Uh, 18 points of piercing damage as all of those teeth wind into you, and then, but the strike itself absolutely smashes your hip as you take a hip injury. You are minus 30 to movement.
Sorry.
30.
Minus 30 to movement.
Minus 30.
Yep. Minus 30
So I
to
can't
movement.
move at all.
Yep. 1d4 hours. And 2d4 dexterity. So thankfully you rolled low, so you only take 2 dexterity damage. But yeah, you can't. It says minus 30, so I guess if you want to move, it has to be a double movement. I'd rule. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then minus 30, so I don't know.
Still.
I guess I don't know.
Minus 30 is really weird to a 30 moving character. Most characters move at 30. You think it'd be
Well, that's
more
probably
specific.
why it is then, isn't it?
No.
Yeah, it means you
You
can't
can
move
still
forward.
take a 5-foot step.
Ah,
There we go.
so I can
It's-
just move
That's all.
one.
That's just literally that's all
Okay.
you've got.
Fine.
So Grin erupts out of nowhere and says that he is here to finish his collection. Please, in that moment, roll initiative.
That's before initiative. Every time this character shows up.
Yeah.
He rolls well.
We did not.
Oh, that's a surprise.
Well, that's nice.
Okay, Silas got 24. Obsidian was at 10.
It was, yes.
And Ansel 4.
Yep.
Silasta, you go first.
Blumenek. Silasta is going to tumble over Obsidian. Apologise. Sorry, Obsidian. It's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Double movement. 5, 10, 15, 20. And behind this statue, I'll use the rest of my movement to put Aelin down and just say, stay here until we tell you to come out.
She, tears welling in her eyes, screams, Dad!
Stay.
Anything else on your turn?
That's double movement, so... No, as a swift action, I drop into the assassin stance.
You drop into the assassin stance, and with the distance, you see the great lumbering form of Grin there, those teeth jutting out of his feral jaw at odd angles, that ripped, torn cape, and that wildly strange blue skin. He looks around with red eyes as he now takes his turn. Realising that he has crippled Obsidian, he moves in to take full advantage of that fact. He doesn't even need to, actually. He can hit you from there with his
You're
shield.
already dead.
I don't know what I did to him. Why he hates me so much more than everyone else. What did I do? He's beat me every time. It's not like I've done him more damage than anyone else. I've actually hit him way less than everyone else because he knocks me out first.
He will go for a full round of attack against you. In this case,
I still haven't moved, so I'm still flat-footed. So 14. is
and
my
minus
goal.
2 to your dex as well.
Oh shit! Yeah. So that's minus 1 off of that. So 13 is my. other
So a hit. And another hit. He brings the chain lashing down once, twice. You just feel your flesh being shredded by the teeth ingrained into his disgusting chain. He will do onto you a lot of damage, I'm afraid. Uh, 14 points of piercing with the first strike.
Only 14. Oh, okay. I was expecting worse than that.
15 for the second.
Hang on. So 14 plus 15 minus.
Oh,
Take off the
and
times
with
damage reduction.
and with that, I need you to do a opposed grapple check for me as well, please.
Oh yeah, because this always goes well for me. The first grapple. Thankfully, it's.
Makes
So,
sense.
the last strike. It's
I'm really
not
glad
even.
my children are watching.
He just that isn't even really a trip. He just drives you to the ground, and because you're just not ready, you just feel something just smash in your hip. Another 2 lashings just rain down on you, and you just collapse to the ground, blood pooling from your side. You look up as the ogre mage is bent on your total destruction. With that said, it is now your turn.
Did I roll highest in initiative out of the 3 of us? I didn't even realise.
Silas's already
no,
gone.
Silaster. Then it's Grin.
Oh,
then
he
it's
did.
you.
Yeah. Jeez. Okay. I'm just going to cast from the floor. Because standing up just means he's going to get an attack opportunity. He'll just knock me back down. Casting defensively is 10 plus level of the spell, or
You tell me.
15 plus level of the spell? Shit, I can't remember. Apologies, I knew this. I don't know why it's not in my head. Casting defensively. 15 plus the spell level.
Cool.
Okay, so the spell level is 3. This is 18. Concentration. 16.
So
Have to be 18.
you have to be 18.
24. Okay. So
Right.
I cast defensively, so he doesn't get an attack of opportunity. And a ray. Had that open as well. So I have to do a ranged touch to start with, which is going to be 1 less than usual because obviously I've taken damage. $12 on his touch armor class.
12, that is a miss.
Oh, I missed his touch armor class, guys. I missed his touch armor class.
You cast defensively at the ground and you fire up, but whether it's your grievous injury, whether it's the stress of the moment, the ray actually misses him.
This character.
Yeah. He darts aside. As that happens, anything else on your turn?
I can't move more than 5 feet. I'll roll slightly one towards the edge. I was going to roll off the edge, but I can't because I can't move far enough.
Yeah, you
Even
desperately
if I was standing up, I couldn't move far enough, so
You're
I've just rolled.
dragging yourself to the edge, and rocks tumble down, and you feel your stomach lurch because you see there's only 7 feet ledge down there, and then it's into the abyss. So a miscalculation there could be terrifying. As you conclude your turn, then Obsidian.
That's me.
You did leave his threat range.
Yeah, I mean, he probably gets an attack of opportunity.
He does. He'll take it.
Since I'm injured and on the floor, so it can't
Yep.
really be counted as a free 5 foot. So.
Sorry.
My armor class would have been 13 at the moment, flat-footed. Or am I flat-footed? I'm not flat-footed.
No, you're just
So
grievously
15,
injured and on the floor,
And
and
14.
Yeah.
And then it's -4 again, so 10.
that's a hit.
10 armor class. I mean, of course. Of course.
Oh! 18 points of piercing damage comes just lashing down on you again as he takes the attack opportunity.
Ouchie!
Mine! All mine! And yeah, that's your turn. Ansel, it's your turn.
Ansel is going to unfold his arms and extend his claws. But first, he'll send the shade in to threaten the Ogre Mage, so he's at -2 to his saves and AC.
The Spy of Shadows!
And then Ansel will lay into him with a couple of attacks, hopefully. So on his touch, and his AC is -2, so 17 on his touch.
Even with the advantage, he brings the chain writhing in front of your attack and blocks the first strike.
On his touch. Fuck
Oh,
me.
sorry. I didn't realise. Sorry, yes, that's a hit. It's his touch. I apologise.
Thank God.
I
Was that
misheard.
not going to hit him there?
I misheard. I do apologise. That does hit his
No
touch,
worries.
yes.
Cool. And then his second attack is 20.
Also hits his touch.
Excellent. So we get 2 strikes with an improved Eldritch.
Is your
Energy.
Eldritch power subject... Is your Eldritch blast usually subject to spell resistance? Is your Eldritch power?
Probably. Let me check. It is, yes.
2 caster level checks, please, for each strike. Oh, no, because your attack only counts as 1. It's up to you. I don't know how it works. Do 2.
I
It's
don't
2
know
attacks. Do
either.
2. Do 2.
Caster level, so that's my caster level.
Your caster level plus a d20 roll.
That's a miss, I'm
It is.
imagining.
Mhm.
And 20 is second.
That's also... No, sorry, that passes. That passes.
Okay. So it's literally just my strength and my hands for one of those hits. 23 damage. And because that was a full round attack, he needs to do a will save DC 21, and that's at -2. Or he's shaken.
Yeah, you see stab into him with that one. Will save, did you say?
Yeah.
A really great roll, I'm afraid. He passes that, unfortunately.
No worries.
So he shrugs off that power, but you drive that stabbing claw into his side. He goes...
Yep, that's me.
Okay, we are back to the top of the round. Silaster, you've moved Aim into safety, and you look around as... yeah, you've seen Grin just rain attack after attack down on the top of Obsidian. Ansel just drives his claws into his side. What do you do?
Swiftly, I consume a magic fang potion, and then
Yes.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I will move to there, and then, as he's running, he's forming a shadow garrote with his hands. He's then going to throw it. Grin. Let's see if this works. .24 to hit.
24 is a hit.
Nice. 27 points of damage as I start choking him as the grot wraps around his neck.
Like, once again, wraps around him. Yeah.
Can he make a fortitude save of 16? A bit low, but you know.
Roll 16 on the die, so he passes.
Basically, as my turn ends, then the garrote just shatters off his neck.
Like, he just shakes it free, and like you see fire in his red eyes as you do that. As it goes to be his turn, he at will can trigger these abilities, so it won't provoke an attack of opportunity. He says, "Now you see me. and then vanishes. Vroom. What is... Okay, and he moves. That's his turn. Obsidian.
Obsidian will stand.
You stand. You heave yourself up with the utmost difficulty. That will cost your go, I believe.
What, to stand up?
Yeah, if you don't
Custom
have
move, not
if
his,
you. Yeah, I mean, isn't usually your ability to move? We've been doing a half your movement stand. So if you have less than that, isn't that going to make you even longer for you to stand?
I don't know.
I'm going to
So
say it is.
movement, action.
You're a minus 30 to movement. That is going to take your turn to stand, I'm going to say.
My entire turn to stand.
I think so. Your hip has just been smashed. Your hip has been smashed. Yes.
I don't really want to spend the whole combat crawling around on the floor. I was only do a spell on myself anyway. I can't hit him, so it doesn't make any difference. No, I stand. I do nothing.
Very good. So you stand. Standing up's not nothing. That's great work. Ansel, it's your turn.
It's really, retribution for touching my children. Except none at all.
I will use my invisibility sight and look around.
Yep, you see him.
If he's in, I'll point him out to the others and be like, I see you.
He's floating above the abyss.
Can't get him with my touch attacks now.
Then I will blast him with my Eldritch Blast.
Very good.
26 to hit his touch.
Hits his touch. Roll a caster level check for me.
I can. 23.
Bypasses the resistance, penetrates his spell resistance, slams into him. Roll the damage.
20 points of damage, and he needs to do a Fortitude save, DC 20, or be sickened.
Yeah, like you just watch him like retch and bend double like in the air, Ansel. As he fails to save, he is sickened.
Excellent. And at that point, I suppose I'll use my curse as a swift action, and he can do a will save as well.
Oh no.
DC 18, so that may be...
The second to
enough.
remind me does do it on saves, right? Yeah. Oh,
yeah, it does.
He's cursed.
Fantastic. So he's -4 to attack, saves, checks, and weapon damage. As Ansel lashes out with...
Yeah, your blast just like slams into him. And there's a look on his face that seems to suggest that this isn't what it was like when he fought you last time. That is your turn, Ansel, unless you've got anything else.
No, I'll move the shade, but he can't fly, so he can't go over there.
Very good. Though while he has been struck, he remains invisible to everyone else. I just made him visible so you could see him, Ansel, and that we can... Yeah. So we're back to the top of the round. Silaster, you don't know where Grinner's gone, but you see Ansel fire across the abyss. So you have a rough direction.
Instead, I'm going to delay. I'll delay till the end of the turn.
Very good. In that case, he is going to, whilst invisible, go for the greatest perceived threat, as he just took a lot of damage from you. Oh, that's a good question. But he could get two of you like that. Yeah, numbers make more sense, I'm afraid. He is going to reveal himself, flying above you, but only just. He puts out a hand. I ask both Obsidian and Silaster to give me a reflex saving throw. DC 18.
Wow.
Is that minus all of the thingies?
It's only a +5. It's got to be, isn't it?
It would be... No, actually, it's one less than that, because I lost 1
Lost
point.
2, yeah, correct. Yeah, fantastic. That's great. And Silaster, what did you get? Right, you both only take half. Oh,
How
sorry.
on earth I'm reflexing at all when I can't really move is...
It's an amazing feat, to be honest. Silaster is able to hurl himself out of the way because he's got evasion. So you explain to me what that's like as I roll half damage for Obsidian.
Well, I don't know what is the spell.
You forgive me, I will roll. I've just rolled the damage. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points of cold damage, Obsidian, as Cone of Cold just erupts. The familiar one, he would appear out of nowhere and just cast Cone of Cold. That just shoots towards you. Obsidian gets caught. We will talk about that in a moment. But how do you evade it totally?
Oh, I'm okay. It's not a proper. I know this isn't actually a thing for the race, but Silas just lifts his coat up slightly. It just absorbs the cold hit.
No, I like
So
that.
he gets his snow off.
I like that very much. Cool. And Obsidian, what's it like as you somehow manage to evade like half of it?
Yeah. I think that he literally just kind of leans off to one side and then very nearly falls off the edge of the cliff doing it. It's not in any way neat or impressive looking. It's just sort of partially lucky, I think.
Yeah, he gives a snarl to see that you're still moving, but he has dropped out of invisibility and then hovers about 20 foot in the air from where he is. So that's him. That's his turn. Obsidian, it's your turn. Like, frost is covering you from, like, one side of you from where you took the hits. What do you do?
Well, so I could... just a waste of a turn if I don't, but it's... Yeah, screw it. I'm going to target him with a Dispel Magic. Because I want to try and bring him out of the sky and make him fall.
Okay, so Dispel Magic will be rolled, if as I recall, a targeted Dispel. It's a D20 plus something, I believe. Do you have it in front of you?
1 second. I do, but I'm going to use...
Oh, your cord.
Am I? Yeah, do you know what? Screw it. I'm going to use a level 5 spell instead and do a greater Dispel Magic so I can add my full level. Now I'm above level 10. Against each ongoing spell currently in effect or on the creature. The DC for this Dispel check is 11 plus the spell's caster level. So, however many spells he has running on him, I would have to roll for each one of them.
I have the DC.
You can tell me how many times to roll. I don't need to know what the spells are. I just need
Right
to know how
now,
many. Just
the one.
27.
You watch as he's like leering over you. What is it like as you turn off his ability to fly?
I think Obsidian just no, absolutely not. That's very much that's an old character that does that. Absolutely not. No. I think that he just holds out his hand and then he just does that. Just essentially throws him down. He's not quite over the abyss, but he's on the edge enough that it's a risk.
He smashes hard as he plunges 50 feet. You ignore the first 10, so can you roll me 4d6 for the bludgeoning damage he takes as he plunges?
It's only 11 points of damage, but is he not at any risk at all?
Falling in? Oh, yeah, he's going to make a save. Yeah, definitely. He's going to save to see if he can stop himself from tumbling.
Break that mushroom that he's landed on.
Yeah, definitely. It just smashes into that was Aylin's bed. Is now just been totally totaled. But he doesn't go over the edge. He lands on the edge. But seems incredibly annoyed at that, and you can just hear him hissing and shrieking from the chasm, looking up with hatred.
Just lift up the mask and smile at him.
You can see that on the floor, he looks around, and you can see that where he hit the ground, like he smashed some of the teeth out of his mouth, and like he's picking them up like a manic, obsessive. Great use of Dispel Magic there, Obsidian. Ansel, it's your turn.
I'll move the shade first. If I move to there, am I within 10 feet of him, or is that
No, it's 30 feet down.
A drop? 30 feet down, Christ.
Yep.
So can I use my movement to get down there, or is that going to be tricky?
So how far have you moved to get to the edge?
5 feet.
If you give me a tumble check, you can avoid taking the damage. I will say, I don't remember the DC off the top of my head for 30 feet to ignore damage for tumbling. You can just jump check.
You can't avoid 30 feet of damage. You can avoid the first 10 feet of damage.
Oh, right, okay.
I think you can't avoid 30 feet of damage. I think you could climb down it fairly quickly, but I think climbing is...
It's half your... You move half your movement. Well, I'm going to say you move half your movement for climbing. I can't remember exactly what it is, but for the purposes of this...
I think it's probably the same down as up, because you have to be careful.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it probably is half your movement.
So you can climb down, or you can just jump.
Fuck it, I'll jump.
Okay,
so
well, you can do me a tumble check to see if you can ignore... You ignore the first 10 feet anyway, isn't that right?
Yeah.
So your tumble is to avoid the others. It's fine.
9.
So you're going to take... You ignore the first 10, so you take 2d6 points of damage, which I'll roll now. That's 7 points of bludgeoning damage as you land, as you just jump down, bam! But you can still use the rest of your movement.
And I've got damage reduction.
Ah.
Cool, so I only need to go to there because I've got 10-foot reach, and then I'll just strike out with one claw.
Yeah, you strike out with one claw, slicing at him.
17 on his touch, and he's at minus.
That hits
2,
his
I
touch.
believe.
Can you roll a caster level check, please?
I certainly can try. What did I say it was? 8. That's not good.
That is not good, and that does not bypass the caster level check, unfortunately.
Then he takes 2 damage from my actual fingers.
Stroke damage. As you just stroke him.
He gives out a bitter scream as you land next to him and then swipe at him. The magic, yeah, but it's still pressure that's on him, pressure that he has not been under for many days hunting prey unaware of his dark presence. Very good, we're back to the top of the round. Silasty, you watch as
end of the round, I delayed.
So you did.
But I still watched this happen. And 5, 10, leap.
Fuck big drops.
And I will tumble. $35.
Jesus.
I'm gonna say that's fine. You negate the damage. I don't care.
That's such a high.
I don't care.
I land, I roll, and I roll out of it into a mountain hammer to the face.
Bam! Love it.
Which is not that. Oh, 21.
21 is a hit. Oh, I'm sorry. Is this just his normal armor class?
Yes.
That's a miss.
Yes.
At -2.
That's a hit.
Oh, that's good.
Roller coaster.
Yeah, it is a roller coaster. Yes, that is a hit.
In no way is he currently being flanked. No, he's not being. Of course, he's not being
No.
flanked. So that is.
No, I'm not jumping that far.
That's fine. That's why I use that. This bypasses any damage reduction. 25.
You land next to him and just smash him. Like, he's halfway through getting up, and, like, Ansel's already, like, threatened him. You just come out of nowhere and just smash, like, a huge tusk out of his tooth. Like, as he reels back on the cliff edge. Like, he gives, like, a feral scream once again.
And then, as a swift action, I will use Moment of Alacrity. I delayed to put myself to the end of the initiative. I now add 20 to my initiative as it is. So wherever that would put me back at the new initiative order.
I mean, you're at the top of the initiative anyway, but that's still super cool. So, 20 onto your existing initiative means that you are now on initiative 44.
I mean, I had delayed, so my thinking was I delayed and then put myself back to where I was before with Alacrity.
Well, that's absolutely fine, because you're back to the top. Yeah, it's your go. Again.
Regardless.
And as I snap out of that, you know what? I'm just going to go for a full round of attacks. I've not done this for a while.
It's nice to do occasionally.
Yeah. That would be impressive, but not. Do that again. 27 to hit.
It's a hit.
And my second attack. 29.
Also a hit.
Oh, okay. Oh, one of them was max damage. 39 points of damage from that full round assault as I have just rolled out of it, boosted myself, and I just
God.
flurried into his head.
Okay, so it's an unbelievable assault, and he gives out, like I said, that feral scream, but there's like a shift as your power becomes manifest. You have returned from the realm of elven dead as a different combatant entirely. How much was that damage, sorry?
39.
Blood pouring from his face. Grin, is looking up at you, every ounce of him is shaking, with fury. And he says, "My master," and he spits blood pouring out of his mouth. "Will send his regards in due time. I just wanted your teeth. Give me your teeth." And he will hurl himself backwards as he will use a spell-like ability at will. Doesn't need to do anything. Zoom! And he becomes a gas.
Again.
And now it's my turn, right?
Well, hang on, he has to do his movement, so he can move as gas, so his 40-foot fly speed, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, so he ascends the 30 feet up, and gets to there, as he begins to fly away in gaseous form towards the exit. It is Obsidian's turn.
I'll use another level 5 spell, Dispel.
Oh no! I didn't know you could do that again.
Sick of his
Oh, okay. Right, okay.
23.
He's there for a second in gas, and then he rematerializes, and he just has time to look around and goes, and then just tumbles into the darkness.
We'll just smile our full smiles.
Minus our teeth he took before.
He did take a couple of my
Shut up,
teeth.
Michael.
He took my daughter's teeth. That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Congratulations. At long last, Grin, the psychopathic serial killer ogre mage, has been defeated and destroyed as he tumbles into the darkness.
Thanks, Matt, for finally bringing him down.
I mean, I did very little.
You fucking killed him.
I stopped him escaping for a change.
No, you killed him.
But he absolutely annihilated me from the offset.
I don't know if I'm probably not, I won't say how much HP he had left, but
I mean, the thing is, we didn't see him die.
No,
So
but we will. I mean, we're gonna search for his body. I want confirmation, and I'll immediately say, "Trick, find his corpse."
Lols, I wish to see it. I shall prod it with a stick. And he finds the best stick he can before flying down into the darkness.
It is a good stick.
You hear like a soft banging coming from the crate here. As the sleep spell has worn off with seemingly the end of Grin's magical control.
Hang on. I race to the crate.
And as you race to the crate,
I mean, I'm still. Hang on a sec. I'm still racing to the crate. Not there yet.
I teleport him the rest of the way there.
Just looking, Rob, could I do a heal check to see if I could maybe give him some speed back, like make a splint or something?
I will say yes, but it's going to be. I think it's going to be really difficult. I think honestly, it's a critical hit table for a reason, and I think that the heal check, there must be some established number of how to return it back to you movement wise.
It's not
only 4 hours.
It's not very common that you do specific body part damage in
I'll
the base
say
rules, so
DC
I think it's kind of
a heal check DC 27 to restore him to half of his movement.
Doable. Not doable. I just poke you
Not
all
today.
instead.
Ow, my hip. Basically, I hobble from now onward. How long was it? 4 hours?
Yeah, 4 hours.
Yeah,
Where's your
I
cane?
do have a cane. I absolutely do have a cane. That is absolutely right. Yes, I do.
You can always hobble for flavour, though.
Yeah. I'll be hobbling, but I'll be using the cane. Doesn't normally the cane is for flavour. Normally, now it's definitely a necessity.
Okay, so once you finally get to the crate, you see that it's actually been nailed shut.
take off my mask and ask Silas very nicely to open the crate.
I just gone to grab your daughter, so I'm bringing your daughter back.
You
shatter the crate for you, if you
absolutely
like.
no need.
Thank you. Rescue my children, please.
Aelin literally like collides with you at Obsidian, like crying, grabbing hold of you, absolutely in hysterics, but also undeniably, unsuppressingly happy, like at the sight of seeing you once again. You're able to just take the necessary time to prise open the lid of a crate, and yeah, you see Werner had been trapped inside and put under a sleep spell, as is one of his abilities. He just has sleep as a spell-like ability, and had come to the moment of Grin's demise.
Yeah, I mean, just take a minute and just hold them both very close, and we have a moment.
After they've like calmed down a little bit and you've comforted them, they give you the story. Werner will say, "I took Kaelin as soon as Mum said that we were being attacked. They pushed themselves into the house. We didn't have very long, but we were able to get onto the necro wagon. Brigadier Wiss had already had them saddled ready for your return from wherever it is you went. Mum said you went under the city. So thankfully they were ready and raring to go. All we had to do was jump on. But we really didn't want to leave Mum, so we waited for a while. But then we saw the fire. We had no choice, we had to go." And like you can see he looks ashamed, the idea of leaving his mum, basically. But on her command.
I'll tell him your mum's fine. You did the right thing. And I am sorry because I thought they'd taken you. And we looked for you with them. And I should have had more faith that you could get away and look after yourselves. But you're safe now. Your mother is safe. Everyone is fine. And then I check both of their teeth.
Yeah, not great, but nothing some magical healing will repair. It is actually a significant surprise that you've not, in fact, repaired your own dental deficiencies.
No.
We wanted our teeth
I wanted to
back.
get my own teeth back from him. I'm not getting any new ones.
I think mine was a wisdom tooth anyway, so
Yeah, mine was as well, right at the back. Aelin, I think basically he's only taken Aylin's baby teeth anyway, because she's only
Yes,
little. So,
yeah, definitely.
Not a problem. She'll just regrow some. Werner's got his adult teeth, I imagine, by now, and like, yeah.
it's just Silas's like front teeth have gone.
Silas had his front tooth taken, yeah. It was
Hi, lass.
pretty...
Yeah. Hi, lass.
Whistle on the friend.
Well, he was also hoping to get it back, but
Smack him in the face. Yeah. So we're going to be going home, and everything has been fixed, and the people that did this to our home, they are beaten. Some of them escaped, but they will be found, and they will pay for what they did. But everything is fine. Everything is going to be fine, and nothing like this will ever happen again. I promise you.
They look at you, and Aelin appears to be like really comforted by this. Werner has a sterner look upon him, but it's not like he's angry with you, but like he has entered, like he's been put in a situation where he's had to look after his young sister, and was clearly thrust into that position, obviously before his time. So you see there's sort of like a steeliness about him almost. And Silasta, you note that he gives you a look, and then confused. "I thought you were gone. Mum said you were gone.
And I'm back. But that's a story for another day.
Some time passes,
Yeah.
and you're almost beginning to think that Trick isn't coming back. Your emotional connection to a familiar is the only thing that sort of reassures you that he's still going. Eventually,
I thought for a second there you were going to call him an emotional support demon.
he is an emotional support demon. Devil, sorry. Yeah, absolutely is.
Devil, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a while before he returns, but return he does, and you see the reason why he has taken the length of time that he has. He will say, puffing and panting, "It is deep, master, the deepest place. Close to the 9 circles, I thought it was." And then he produces something that is familiar to you. The long, bloody chain. Utterly destroyed he is, broken. I poked him with a stick.
Good.
I hope it was
Well done, Trick.
pleasant.
It was like he was lying upon a bed of teeth. It was how he would want to go.
Oh, good.
We should bring him back and kill him again in a way he wouldn't want to go then.
Yeah, really. No, I think it's probably too far to go. I wouldn't want to
It's not
resurrect
worth
that
it.
piece of shit.
It's not
anyway.
worth it just out of spite.
Wait, he was literally on a bed of teeth.
I imagine like stalagmites and stuff.
I see. Of course.
He hadn't quickly on the way down cast a spell constructing
No,
a
I
teeth
just,
bed to lie in as he fall.
I just
Imagine.
thought of another creature down there. But that's
Yeah,
If
so
he's fallen into the mouth of something huge that was then eating him, that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. So, I think at some point we'll be going over this chain to get back our own teeth. But we need to figure out which ones they are, and we need to maybe do that not right now because we just want to get out of here.
for now, you can make a note that you have a large spiked chain adorned with the teeth of Grin's victims. The large means that it deals 2d6, as I know Dom can probably attest to knowing from a previous character.
Yeah.
And
A lot of fun with spike chains.
yeah, they're so good. And really great for fighting multiple play characters, it seems. But not good enough this time. As the strangers emerge from the murky depths of the Grenier Mountains with the 2 Graves children in tow. Victorious, not only in defeating the Sanguine sisters the day before, but now reunited with Silaster, the strangers stand victorious over Grin, the right hand of Derek Redhaven himself. And that is where we're going to leave it for this session of Knights of the Apocalypse. Congratulations! It had to come eventually, but yeah, you guys just got too strong for him. He tried to pull as much out of the bag as he could, but overwhelmed and hoisted by his own attempts, his predictable attempt to try and escape. So there we are. What we're going to do is what we always do at the end of a session. And we're going to get the final thoughts of our wonderful players. And we'll start with Dom today. What are your thoughts as we conclude this session?
I am so happy that we finally fucking killed that grinning shitbag. Because we've beaten him more than once already. And he keeps fucking getting away. And now and I'm so glad it was in the process of him like being hurt, get away in the same way again, and then just dropped into a massive hole.
It is
That's
actually
made me
perfect, and I didn't flub that in
very
any
happy.
way. Like, that was his fly speed. That's literally as far as he could get, because he had to fly up to get out, because he'd already fallen in, so he had to go up, and he used all of his speed doing that, so he didn't have enough to then clear the gap. It was actually perfect.
Yeah.
Anything else, Dom? Any other further thoughts about the session at all?
I'm glad Silas is back. He came in with a lovely bit of impact, which was very gratefully received. Sad to see Runic go, but I almost forgot his name there.
Yeah. Who was that
Which would have
guy?
been hilarious. That other guy.
He didn't help at all.
I loved the walk through the elven afterlife. I thought that was really fun and haunting. And yeah, just a good old sesh.
A good old time. Matt, final thoughts at the end of today's session.
Yeah, similar feelings about Grin. Glad that he's been beaten. Definitely found him to be an incredibly frustrating enemy. Kept coming back, but I don't think he hated him quite as much as Ansel did. He was Obsidian was just a bit more confused as to why he had such a vendetta against him. Like, what did I do? Every time he appeared, his first move was to just pancake Obsidian into oblivion. Every time.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I was glad to put him down at the end, and I was I knew because of the we'd sort of talked about, hadn't we, whether certain spells could be affected by dispel, or whether spell-like abilities would be affected by it, and it turned out they could. So like, had planned to dispel that when he tried it.
Yeah, we were thinking about that for another something. I can't remember how that came up.
It
but
was
to
Dominate.
do with something else. Yeah, that was right. You were to know.
Dominate, because obviously Dominate is an ability that a vampire has, but it's not a spell they cast. It's just a spell-like ability they can do. So we sort of found it out through that. And yeah, so but I had already planned, like, was definitely going to get the old dispel on the go the minute he tried to mist away.
You know what? That is dead satisfying. That something that got set up for a different enemy in last session paid off in solving the Grin keeps escaping problem. That's that's really, really satisfying to me. What a move! And I thought you played your hand, and I was like, that's why I was like, he's done it. So I'm now going to use Gassy Swarm to get him out of there. Didn't work. Shit.
Yeah, really, just pure luck that he fell down the hole, but
perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Worked out really nicely. Obviously, really glad to have Silaster back, and I too really thoroughly enjoyed the walk through the elven afterlife. It was really lovely imagery, really well put together.
It was. It's the tricky one, isn't it? That I said in the break, but I'll say it here as well, so it's a point of record. Really difficult to know how to balance when you're doing a session of D&D, but then you're obviously going off on a character moment. And I was like, well, he's gonna have to fight the. I wanted him to fight a gargoyle to like beat the thing that put him there. That's the key. So yeah, but it's tricky. So I really appreciate you guys being patient whilst that took place. And the man of the hour, or should I say the men of the hour, the elf or the dwarf of the hour, multiple characters, a man of many faces himself. Michael, your final thoughts as Silaster returns.
I mean, yeah, shared sentiments. I very much enjoyed the Arvanaith and Arvanaith and all the journey through. And I mean, I grew very attached to Runic over the sessions he's been in, but he's at a point. He came in as a bit of a freelancer and a mercenary. Should the worst happen again, I could bring him back very effectively, quite easily. But not to say that I'm not thrilled about having Silaster back. Quite the opposite. I've been wanting to develop Silaster, and I don't think the full impact of what's happened is really going to sink in for him for a long time. I mean, he's going to be, as I said, that 1,000-yard stare for quite a while. I think just.
That's
But I think
yeah.
that part of his attitude is going to change as well, and how he's reacting to just even the strangers, and how it will change amongst other people. But we'll see how that develops.
Well, like as I said, like it should be, if you are bringing someone back from the dead, it should be like, yeah, it should be earned. And I think however many sessions it is, I think it's like 6 or 7 sessions it's been since he went, and not only did you have to win the fight, you had to not be killed by the thing, because if you got killed, then I was going to say you didn't make it. And the other thing was that even though that took a long time, I think that there's still things like with the memories of the Fugue Prism. That's something that's gonna plague you for a bit, because you're going to have to unravel what you witnessed there, because it's all a bit foggy. And also, you've not really come back the same, because you looked whilst you were meditating and something on you is different, which is something else.
I mean, he's got a lot of contracts in place, so to speak. Saranday, that's another one. This whole Arvanaith, the Wraiths of Arvanaith, and then just coming back as well. Maybe he's getting in too deep. Maybe he's not. Who knows?
Who knows? Well, we will have to discover in a future session of Knights of the Apocalypse. Thanks again to my amazing players, and thank you all for watching live and after the fact. As I said before, if you'd like to, if you like this video, give it a like. If you'd like to see more like it, then give us a subscribe. And if you want to watch us live, come and hit follow on Twitch and hit the bell so you know when we go live. Really appreciate some of the people dropping into the chat today. Redium, as always, faithful Redium. And also, thank you for dropping by, Miss Mad88. Lovely to see a newcomer drop by in the chat. And I think that's all there is to say. We will do a little bit of admin at some point in the future, because we are finally getting around to discussing rewards for those people that do contribute to the game. We do really appreciate your feedback in the chat. So we're working out something that's going to be in place in the future for you to interact with the game in some way. But more on that another time. After all that is said, thank you ever so much for watching. And all that remains for me to say is bone them rolls. Take it easy.
Bone 'em!
Raw bone the.
Oh.